Greetings, students. I hope you enjoyed our keywords and concepts videos for this week. I know they were a little longer than normally, so sorry about that. But now we get to go to our documentary. So this week we're going to be watching a documentary entitled The Mask You Live In. It's actually won a number of awards all over the place. So what are we actually talking about? What's this mask that's in the documentary? Well, what we're talking about in this documentary essentially is toxic masculinity. Now I know you've probably heard that phrase a lot, and you may have some mixed feelings about it. So let's talk about it a little bit. When we're talking about toxic masculinity, under no circumstances are we criticizing masculinity or men. Nope, not what we're talking about. When we're talking about toxic masculinity, we mean the bad stuff, right? Like men are just inherently violent and have no emotions, that kind of thing. That's not good. Nobody likes that. And it's not true, right? So that's what we mean by toxic masculinity. And particularly in American culture, we do struggle with this a little bit, right? With these kind of values. So what this documentary is going to do is kind of get into what this looks like. How do we socialize little boys and young men to become grown men? As we've been learning this term, humanity isn't born, right? It's learned. We learn how to be humans. So how do little boys learn how to be men? And that's what this documentary is about. Now, fair warning, there's some language in this documentary. We're talking about masculinity and the ways in which men police gender roles. So very often there's going to be some not pleasant language being used in the film. But I think we can all understand what's being employed and why they're doing those kinds of things. But just a heads up in case you are sensitive to that. There's nothing super bad in this one. They do talk about things like domestic violence or rape, but nothing shown and nothing like that. They don't really dwell on it too much. So for the most part, we're talking about what goes into making a boy a man. Is this a bad process, a good process, a neutral process? What's happening in that process? And why are we losing so many of these boys to violence, to crime, to things like this, right? So these are all the really big questions that we're going to be dealing with in our documentary. So I have a boatload of discussion questions up. You are welcome to answer any of those questions. You do not have to pick one. I have my example answer up, but I'm really curious to see what everybody thinks with this one because it's a pretty good one. So, I'm always excited about the documentary. So go ahead and give this a watch, and then we'll see what everybody thought about it down in the discussion board post. And then after that, you do have to take your exam. So I wish you the best of luck there. But you're almost done. Once you've gotten your exam in, you are done for the week. So I will see you guys later.